Welcome to the Soapbox Podcast with your host, Winter.
Hi everybody, welcome to Reality Now. I have changed the name of that channel, my channel. I've changed the name of my channel because the Lord just led me to do it. Because this channel is about being real. This channel is about the reality of the Bible and what the Bible really has to say and not sugarcoating things. So welcome to Reality Now, and welcome to the Soapbox Podcast. Today I'm going to read Jeremiah 2, and then we're going to have a talk about God after that. So join me, won't you? Get yourself some water. I've got this. Have a seat, relax, and enjoy the podcast. Thank you. And leave a thumbs up and comment below and subscribe if you're new. So let's get going on reading Jeremiah 2 and God's character. Who is he really? Let's find out. Grab a drink, sit back, relax, and let's listen to Jeremiah chapter 2. And I want us to look at God's character. Let's go. Chapter 2, beginning at verse 1. Again the word of Adonai came to me, saying, Go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus says Adonai, I remember the devotion of your youth, your love as a bride, and the way you followed me in the wilderness. In a land not sown, Israel was kadosh to Adonai, the first fruits of the harvest. All who devoured him were held guilty. Catastrophe overtook them. It is a declaration of Adonai. Hear the word of Adonai, O house of Jacob, and all the families of the house of Israel. Thus says Adonai, What fault did your fathers find in me, that they strayed far from me? They walked after worthless things, becoming worthless themselves. They did not ask, Where is Adonai, who brought us up from the land of Egypt, and led us through the wilderness, through a land of deserts and rifts, through a land of drought and distress, through a land where no one travels, where no one lives. So the first thing we're seeing here in Adonai's character is he brought the Israelites out of Egypt. He rescued them. Yet I brought you into a fertile land, to eat of its fruit and goodness. That doesn't sound like a mean God to me, does it to you? When you came, you defiled my land. You made my heritage an abomination. So what are the people doing? They're defiling the land that's got the fruit and the goodness. The Kohanim did not ask, Where is Adonai? The Torah experts did not know me. The shepherds rebelled against me. The prophets prophesied by Baal, B-A-A-L, that's the devil, basically, and went after unprofitable things. Therefore, I will plead with you again. It is a declaration of Adonai. I will contend with your children's children. Cross to the coasts of Kittim and see. Send to Kedar and observe carefully. See if there has been anything like this. Has a nation changed its gods, even though they are not gods? Yet my people have exchanged their glory for worthless things. Be appalled at this, O heavens. Be utterly horrified and dumbfounded. Yeah, he's dumbfounded at the way that these Israelites keep acting. And I was dumbfounded when I was reading through Genesis and Leviticus and Numbers and Deuteronomy and all these books about how selfish and how inconsiderate and how just spoiled rotten brats the Israelites were. Those are my words. It is a declaration of Adonai. My people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the spring of living water, and they dug their own cisterns, cracked cisterns that hold no water. Is Israel a servant, a slave by birth? Then why has he become plunder? Young lions have roared at him. They have roared loudly. They made his land a waste. His cities are in ruins and uninhabited. Even the sons of Noph and Taphanes have grazed on the crown of your head. Have grazed on the crown of your head. Have you not brought this on yourself when he led you in the way? It's what we do. We bring it on ourselves, and then we want to blame God for everything when he had nothing to do with it. But now, what is on the road to Egypt? Drinking the waters of the Nile. Or what is on the road to Assyria? Drinking the waters of the Euphrates. Your own wickedness will rebuke you, and your backslidings will chide you. I see that all through the word too, where people who are defiant against the Lord, they end up tearing each other apart. Know then, and see how bad and bitter it is for you to forsake Adonai your God. Nor is fear of me in you. And fear is not being afraid. It's having reverence for God, knowing that he is the potter and we are the clay. It is a declaration of the Lord of Adonai Savot. Indeed, long ago I broke your yoke and tore off your bonds. You said, I will not serve. Instead, on every hill and under every green tree, you sprawled out as a prostitute. Yet I had planted you as a choice vine, from completely faithful seed. How then did you become to me a wandering wild vine? Even though you wash with lye and use an abundance of soap, the stain of your iniquity is before me. It is a declaration of the Lord Adonai. How can you say, I am not defiled, I have not gone after the Balaam? Look at your behavior in the valley. Recognize what you have done. You are a swift young camel galloping aimlessly, a wild donkey used to the wilderness, sniffing the wind in her passion, in her heat. Who can restrain her? All males that pursue her will not tire themselves. At mating time they will find her. Do not run while your feet are bare and your throat is thirsty. But you said, there is no hope. No, for I have loved foreign gods, and I will go after them. As a thief is shamed when caught, so the house of Israel is shamed. They, their kings, their princes, their Kohanim, and their prophets, they say to the wood, you are my father, and to the stone, you birthed me. They have turned their back to me and not their face. Yet when they are in trouble, they say, rise up and save us. Did I not talk about that out on the walk? Somebody's desperate and they turn to the Lord, and then as soon as everything is okay, they leave the Lord and go on their merry sinful way. This is exactly it right here. They have turned their back to me and not their face. Yet when they are in trouble, they say, rise up and save us. Where are your gods that you made for yourself? Let them come, if they can save you when you are in trouble. For you have as many gods as you have cities, O Judah. Why do you strive with me? You have all rebelled against me. It is a declaration of Adonai. Are you hearing what I'm hearing? He's lecturing his children. They're teenagers, basically. And they just want to go have fun and not pay any attention to the God of the universe that got them out of Egypt, out of 450 some years of slavery. And he brought them up and out of Egypt and had them cross the Red Sea with it parted. I mean, whoa. In vain I struck your children. They took no correction. Your sword devoured your prophets like a Your sword devoured your prophets like a ravaging lion. You generation heed Adonai's word. Have I been a wilderness to Israel, or a land of thick darkness? Why do my people say we are free to roam? We won't come to you any more. Can a virgin forget her ornaments, or a bride her attire? Yet my people have forgotten me, days without number. How clever are your ways of seeking love. Therefore you even taught wicked women your ways. Moreover, on your skirts is found the blood of the innocent poor. You did not find them breaking in. Yet in spite of all these things, you say, I am innocent. Surely his anger is turned away from me. See, I will pass judgment on you, since you say I haven't sinned. Why do you make light of changing your way? You will be put to shame by Egypt, as you were put to shame by Assyria. You will also go out from there with your hands on your head, for Adonai has rejected those in whom you trust. You will not prosper by them. That is the end of chapter 2. I just find it fascinating that the devil puts these blinders on, that when we climb into the Old Testament and we read the words of the Old Testament, we see this vengeful, what we think is a vengeful God. But how much do we really know the truth of what was going on? And why was he doing the things he was doing? Like I talked about in one of my other videos, he told the Israelites to strike down every one of these people. I want you to kill them all. And when you read that in the Word, and if you don't have a concept of what he's really asking these people to do, which is to kill evil, it's to wipe out the evil. These were people that were not human. They were half human, half fallen angel. They had no soul. They were completely and totally evil. And that is why he was telling them, don't leave one. Do not leave one. Well, people didn't listen to him, and they left some. They left some around. He tells us over and over and over again in the Old Testament, if you do this, I'm going to do this. Isn't that what a parent does? When your child comes to you and says, I want to go jump in that lake over there. Well, if you jump in that lake over there, you're going to drown because you don't know how to swim. You cannot jump in that lake over there. If you do, you're going to drown. You will be dead. Okay? This is what God is saying to the Israelites that want to go jump in a lake that can't swim. If you do, this is what's going to happen to you. And we look at that and go, he's just so vengeful. Is it vengeful to let your kid go jump in a lake and drown and die? No, it's being protective. And that is what God is trying to be throughout the entire Old Testament. He's trying to protect these people. They are his chosen ones. And they just keep slapping him upside the head and saying, nope, don't want anything to do with you. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to make this false god. And then when the Messiah came on the scene, they had all kinds of forewarning of who the Messiah was going to be. Read Isaiah 53. It is precise. It's absolutely precise. Do you know that in Israel, Isaiah 53 isn't allowed to be read? Why? Because it is pointing right to the Messiah HaMashiach. And they don't want to believe it. They don't want to believe that the Messiah has already come. They're still waiting for the original arrival of Messiah. Why is that? Because they expected a king that was going to come in with a sword and wipe out all of their enemies, and that isn't what Jesus did. So they didn't get the true message of who the Messiah was. Okay? So when you pick up the Old Testament and read it, I want you to open your eyes and look at it from a different point of view. Look at what the people are doing, because they're saying in there what they are doing. And then look at what God is saying to these people. If you do this, this is going to happen. Well, sometimes they would not do what they were planning on doing. They would repent, and he would turn back and love them. He just would keep loving them. He didn't punish them like he said he was going to, because they changed their ways back to his ways. But then they would go jump off into the lake again and try to drown themselves. There are consequences for actions. Thank you, Jesus. There are consequences to actions. And all God is doing is expressing the consequences if you do these certain acts. And after all, ladies and germs, he's the maker of the universe. He made you. He has a right to be able to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. He has that right because he made you. And you have every right to not do what he says you should do. That's the beauty of having a free will. But there are going to be consequences if you don't do what your dad tells you to do. Just like when you were a kid. If you didn't do what dad told you to do, you got the belt, or you got whacked, or you got whatever. You got punished, you got time out, you got to, grounded to your room. You can't be on TV, you can't do this, you can't do that. That's what parents do. They discipline their children. And God is our ultimate father. He is the father of all of us. And many of his children hate him and think he's just the meanest thing that ever walked on the planet. Well, those are obstinate, stubborn teenagers. And they haven't gotten it yet. They haven't come to understand it yet. That God loves them with everything in him. Because why? How do we know that he does? He sent his only son to die a horrific death on a cross for you and for me, and we don't deserve it. We didn't deserve it then, and we don't deserve it now. But his love for these human beings that he created, that keep stomping all over him, he loved these human beings so much, so much, that he literally put his child on a cross and had him be bruised, and they scourged him. And from front and back, this human being, this God-man, he had bleeding wounds all over his body. And then they hung him up on the cross. Naked, before everyone to see. Why did Jesus want to do that? And he chose to do that. He wasn't forced into it. Why did he choose to do that? Because he loves us that much. I'm just really sick and tired of hearing people say that God is mean. I'm really tired of it. I'm tired of that being the excuse to not want anything to do with him. I have a family member that said that to me. That's why I don't believe in him, because he's da 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 da. And I'm just sick of hearing it, because why would I want to believe in somebody that's like that? What does that say about, what does that family member think of me if I believe and follow a God who this family member thinks is the way that he is, that thinks that it's the way that he is when it's not the way that he is? I get my dander up over it. I really, really, truly do. Because I know my family member's not the only one that believes that way. And my family member even said to me, it's probably the devil saying that to me. And I'm like, yeah, you're exactly right. That's exactly who's telling you this. But you know what's going to happen? That family member is going to be in torment in hell, like I talked about on the walk. That family member is going to hell. And I don't want that for that family member. I don't want that family member to be tormented and tortured and in hell going, why didn't I listen to this person when I was alive? Why didn't I? Why? Because that's what people do that are in hell. They are questioning why they did not listen to whoever it was that were trying to tell them about the Lord and who he really is. Lazarus in Abraham's bosom and the rich man. The rich man is in hell. He's begging for Abraham to ask Lazarus to drop a single drop of water on his tongue because he's in torment. And he says to Abraham, tell my brothers they don't want to be here. Okay? So we can glean from the Bible that hell is that bad, and that the people that are in hell currently know they're there, and they are suffering greatly for not listening, not abiding, not wanting to do it God's way. I'm going to do it my way, or it's the highway. Well, honey, it's the highway to hell if you continue to do it your way. This is a long video. Good. Yay. I love you all so much. I hope that this touches you in some way. I hope that you will share this out with somebody that you know needs to hear it. And I know I'm passionate about it, and I may sound like I'm very forceful. It's because I am. It's because I am. I think sometimes we need somebody to be forceful and passionate about this subject, because they're sure not talking about this in church. When you go to church on Sunday, you're getting 2 songs, 3 stand-ups, 4 sits-downs, the announcements. Preacher comes out and talks to you for 20 minutes on one Bible verse and kicks you to the curb. See you next week. They're not teaching the reality. That's why I changed the channel name. Welcome to reality. This is reality. And I'm not going to sugarcoat reality for you. You're grown-up people. You're adults. And you know right from wrong. Whether you believe in God or not, you know right from wrong. Because God ingrained that in you when he made you. So you know if you're sinning. You know if you're not pleasing the Lord. It's in there already. You already have it in there. So just take my word for it. You do not want to spend eternity in hell. You do not want to spend eternity in hell. I have a book that is for sale on Amazon. It's called You're Dead, Now What? You need to get it and read it. I will put a link for it in the description box below. You need to read it. You need to buy it for a family member. Because this is not a joke. This isn't a joke. Your life is and you're gone, and you're dead, and now what? Now what are you going to do? You have no recourse after you've taken your last breath. All of it has to happen right here, right now, while you're alive, right now. You cannot make up your mind or change your mind after you're dead, and nobody else can do it for you either. No one can stand before anybody and say, oh, I went down to hell and I saved some people. Somebody told me that the other day about a so-called minister saying that to her, and I'm like, oh, really? No. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. But oh boy, would the devil like to make you think it does. Wouldn't he? He would just love to make you think that you can get that out-of-free jail card on the Monopoly board. Well, you can't. You can't. And you only have one lifetime to make this decision. And you could literally die right after this video is done playing. You could die right now. Right now. Where are you going? Where are you going? If you were to die right now, where are you going? I'd be very concerned about it if I were you, if you don't have a relationship with Jesus. I would be really concerned about it. I'm saying. So, yeah. I care about you. I don't want you to be in hell. I don't want you to be in hell. That's my mission, is to do everything and say everything I can to make your eyes open, to take the blinders off your eyes that Satan has put there. He's put them there. Stop buying into his games. He is trying to lead you to hell, and you're letting him. Stop it. Just stop it. God is not mean. God can be vengeful. Absolutely. You're going to see it big time when the tribulation gets here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're going to see a lot of it. But we have been forewarned for 2,000 years what's coming. We know what's coming. He gave us a roadmap to what is coming and what we need to do to survive it. So yeah, I've talked long enough. I appreciate you listening to my lecture. But welcome to reality now, folks. I think I'm going to turn this one into the podcast, and then I'm going to do the walking part as a separate video, and then I'll make this my podcast because it'll be just too long of a video. So I'm going to do an intro for the podcast, and that's what we're going to do because this is my channel, and I can do whatever I want. All right, everybody. I love you so much. Share this out, please, to people that need to hear it. Give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment. I love you all very much. Sunday, Resurrection Day. This is the day that he fooled Satan. Oh, everybody thought, why can't he come down from that cross? Why isn't he saving himself? Because that wasn't his mission. His mission wasn't to save himself. His mission was to save you and me from the everlasting lake of fire. Think about that. All right, everybody. Thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe if you're new. I love you all so much, and I'll see you next time.